Yo, what's good? Easy Breezy Eve here. Welcome to the Aliens movie review. Now, if you haven't seen my Aliens reaction video, I will post the link here, I think. Yeah, so go ahead and check that out first. If you know my channel, if you know me, I usually do reaction videos and I do some review videos. I mean, I do both. I usually react and then review movies and TV shows episodes. But this time I thought I'd do something a little bit different. I'm going to post the reaction and the review and discussion as separate videos. This will be easier for you guys, right? Some of you guys like the discussions at the end. Some of you guys like just watching the reactions. So I thought I'd keep them separate instead of posting a 1.5 hour long YouTube video. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you're here, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. It'll help the channel out a lot. And yeah, here we go. This is my movie review and discussion to Aliens. Oh my, no! Oh, pussy ass. Oh! Hey! Got a daughter back too, so Paul Reiser, you fucking bitch. Whew, that was Aliens. That was nuts. Oh man. It's very different, actually. Very different from the first Alien. Much higher budget, of course. James Cameron is directing it, not Ridley Scott. So, you know, James Cameron, he's a blockbuster guy, man. It's an action movie. I think it's more an action movie than a horror, but of course, right at the end, when Ripley is going on her rescue mission to rescue Newt, then it goes back to, you know, the original Alien, where it's a horror thing. You go in there, it's very surreal, alienscape. You know, it's like very surreal sort of lair, the Queen's lair. She goes there, and it's like, ooh, are they gonna attack her or not? The Queen initially lets her go with Newt. Like, we're not gonna attack you, you're not gonna attack me. But right when she got to the door, we saw one of the eggs open. And when you do that, like, the thing is, knowing Ripley, she probably would have sprayed him with the flames anyway. But when the egg opens, you already know, right? That's just your cue. They're about to try to get you, I'm about to try to get you back. And she burned all of those eggs, which would have been burned anyway, right? But I'm not sure if the Queen Xenomorph knew that or not. Either way, she went and chased after her. She was pissed off, and she got on the ship. Just like on Alien, one of the Xenomorphs gets on the ship, the escape pod. This one got on the ship, and they fight. She got on the fucking exoskeleton forklift thing. It's not a forklift, obviously, but it's got the clipper claws. And they fought and made it more of an even fight, and that was crazy. That was really fun to watch. I mean, Ripley's just super cool, isn't she? Like, first of all, she's calm. She's usually level-headed, and when things get intense, she'll get intense too. But more not in a way that's annoying or anything. Like that guy, fucking Bill Paxton character, he's just fucking over the top, man. He was getting annoying, but I get it. It's a high, you know, they're trying to survive. Burke, man, Burke was such. I knew he was bad, man. He was bad. I get it. Like the xenomorphs, it's aliens. They're the bad guys. They're the aliens. You're trying to survive against them, but like, it's less of a morality thing with them. Like they're a species of organism. They want to survive. The way they survive is they need hosts, and that's not really their fault. Like, that's just how they evolved. Okay, or created. You know, you can go to the Prometheus movies if you want, but like that's just the way they are. And with Burke though, and the company, and he's like, the things he does, he puts the lives not just at risk, he tries to sacrifice Newt and all of them, really, and just so he can have a chance at getting some money, not realizing that they need to get out of that place first. There's no way this suit will get out of there alone. So he's just a stupid character all around. The guy who got half of them killed in the beginning, he sort of made up for it. Tried to save Vasquez, is that Vaz? But couldn't. But they blew themselves up and stalled for time for the others. I do think it's a little cheesy that, you know, like a family unit survives. Like it's like but it's fine. It's fine. It's human. It's natural, and it's okay. Like I'm not one of those people that's like anti-family or whatever. Like, oh, it needs to be feminist, all that. I get it. Like she can be strong and be a mother and have a guy, like have a husband or whatever. Eventually, the implications of them being together after the movie, him and the Hicks, and they'll probably take care of Newt. I don't know what happens in 3, so I'm just assuming if the movie ended and there was no other sequel, like, you know, then this leaves it up to us, all right? So it leaves them. And as usual, you know, Ripley sort of saves the day. She's the smartest one, obviously, out of all of them. She calls all the shots, and they seem to work, right? And she also never sort of sacrifices her moral duty, which is to make sure everybody survives or has the best chance of survival, and primarily Newt. It's also nice to see that she's not alone at the end. She's not the sole survivor again, right? I think like if she was the sole survivor again, you know, you would go nuts after that. You wouldn't even want to be alive anymore. I don't think you'd be so guilty. But it's great. It's great. It's a happier ending. Definitely like a happier ending. It's not a happy ending by any means. A lot of people are dead, a whole colony of people, as a matter of fact. But, you know, the most important people are alive. We find out her name is Ellen. I'm not sure if they told us that in Alien, but definitely it's explicit here. She was like, I'm Ellen, right? So Ellen Ripley is her full name. Just FYI. What I think makes Ripley a very iconic character, it's not just the fact that there's this sort of myth that like, oh, she's a woman in an action movie or horror movie. She's a lead woman doing things that are usually reserved for male characters. And that is true to an extent, but I think that Ripley, just her character, right? She's not perfect. She, like, especially in Alien, at least the first one, she makes mistakes. She's not good at everything. Like, she's not a soldier and a scientist and an engineer, but she's smart. She's smart enough to do things and to learn things. Like, in this movie, I guess by the end, she was able to like basically become a fully fledged badass action hero. She wasn't that in Alien. But in this one, it was like Hicks taught her how to use the gun and everything like that. And she's fully capable to learn. Is it realistic that she was able to go in and rescue Newt on her own with a lack of experience of using weapons? Maybe. But if anybody could do it, the thing is like, if anybody could do it, it would be Ripley. So that's what also makes it believable. She never sort of puts, you know, she's a very moral and ethical person. She doesn't, you know, put anyone in danger unnecessarily. She's not selfish. And you understand why her motivations on things. Like, she didn't have to save Newt because it would have made it for a better movie. Realistically, I think any other person, if it was not her, for example, maybe if at the end it was Hicks and, definitely not Burke, but Bill Paxton's character. If it was them two at the end and Newt gets kidnapped, I'm not sure they would go back for her, right? But Ripley, she's had a child that she never got to see again. And she developed this relationship with this child who's basically become her adopted daughter, right? It's the reason why she would go back after her. over, you know, her own life, risking her own life to do it, and even telling Bishop not to leave, you know. And good thing Hicks is there as well, and it's not like Burke would have definitely told Bishop to just fly away, like, but it was Hicks, so Hicks is like, definitely we're not gonna leave, so they didn't leave. And is those sort of things that make her commendable and revered as an action hero. And she's, you know, just the same things, like she's the same character from Alien, right? She's super cool, reserved until whenever she needs to be. She's level-headed for the most part until she needs to be a badass, and she'll bitch slap you with a fucking, you know, exoskeleton. So yeah, I really like the Ripley character. I think she's basically the reason these movies are, you know, super good. I mean, I've seen the Prometheus movie and the Alien Covenant movie, and they're good. And you know, Naomi Rapace is great. Catherine Waterston is great as well. But I don't know, it's just something about Sigourney Weaver as Ripley that just, you know, it gives that sort of another level to the aura of that character. And maybe I'm just romanticizing it, even though I wasn't there originally, right, when it came out. So it must be weird being one of those people who saw those movies first instead of this one. But I'm just, you know, this is how I feel. So what do you guys think about that? Am I just making shit up, or do you guys feel the same way about Sigourney Weaver as Ripley? Ultimately, it's that she's active. She always makes her own decisions. And if she's not making her own decisions, she is always giving her opinion and, you know, having a discourse with the other characters as well. She's not stubborn about it. She'll give her say, and then they'll all discuss it and agree to whatever is best. But at the same time, she, you know, she will do what's right. If she, like, for example, just now, that guy who was calling all the wrong plays right at the beginning, she was like, oh, this guy, he's, you know, you have a limit. If you let him keep doing the things, they're all would have been dead in there right at the beginning. So Ripley had to take over at that point. But for the most part, she's very diplomatic about things, and she's very active in her decision making. Yeah, like I said, when, like, the primary example in this movie is when she goes to rescue Newt, the decision to rescue Newt, and also while she's rescuing Newt, the decision to burn all of those eggs before just running away. Similar to, I think, the first one, there's this sort of mother female sort of connotation behind it. In the first one, it was like, you know, mother, or M-U-T-H-U-R or whatever. I get it, like, it's not mother, but it's not a coincidence. And with Ripley going against these things that gestate, they even use that word in these hosts, and like it has that connotation of, like, you know, mother is supposed to be someone you can trust, and it's, you know, something that they're supposed to look to, or for advice in the first movie. And then there's also the sexual assault references towards, especially when Ash was, you know, trying to kill Ripley in that one as well, and some other things as well that I'm not remembering now. But in this one, it's like there's Ripley, who right at the beginning of the movie, it's revealed that she had a daughter, but she could not be the mother to her daughter because she never got back to Earth on time. And in that happening, they talk about family in the beginning a lot. It was it's like they mentioned there's families on that colony, and then they mentioned, like, of course they had a family unit go to find the lost ship and bring back the first sort of face hugger, and then that colony started to experiment on them, and then it was not surprising that they would find a child at that colony, sort of for Ripley to be the mother she wasn't, right? And then that is also being juxtaposed with the queen, right? They gave a little explanation before we actually saw it at the end about how there's likely going to be a queen xenomorph that's laying the eggs. So it completely juxtaposes Ripley, who is the mother figure for for the humans, and then there's the queen xenomorph for xenomorphs, and they kind of go head to head. And both, because in a way they're sort of protecting their children. In one case, it's, Ripley trying to protect New, and in the other case, it's the xenomorph first trying to protect its eggs. And then once she loses her eggs, she's trying to get new hosts for new eggs to be finally, to be a mother again, I guess. But I still see sort of this, not implied, it's kind of explicit about it, but they're not hiding it really. But like the company, the corporation, who is, in this case, it's not Ash who represents the company, it's actually Burke. And this like sort of profit first, capitalism driven ideology, and even the way he was going to go about his plan and screw over Ripley was to impregnate them and the girl and bring him back, use them as like xenomorph mules back to Earth, and use them for profit, for the sake of the company, for capitalism, for wealth, for her percentage, as Ripley would call it. So it's all of these connotations are there, and I'm sure there's papers and academic writings on this stuff that I'm not privy to. It's just I can't do a total analysis on it because I've only seen this once and I'm not that smart. I do think though that the main difference between Alien and Aliens, besides like the whole horror becoming more of an action sort of movie type thing, is in Alien, the sort of the motherhood aspect, it's not hidden, but it's more metaphorical. Like the way the alien comes out of the stomach is not a coincidence. The nude cutouts right before sort of Ash assaults Ripley is not a coincidence. The whole the mother of the AI of the ship is not a coincidence, but they're referenced there. But in Aliens, it's like, it's sort of front and center. Like they're not even being implicit about it. The whole sort of movie is about Ripley reclaiming her motherhood, like she loses her daughter. We realize she has a daughter that she never got to meet again because of what happened in Alien. So when she's presented with this opportunity, and not opportunity, I shouldn't say, but she's presented with this situation that's not really in her control. She wants to save the colony. That's why she goes on the mission. And while there, they find Newt, and she doesn't just like disregard Newt as just another hostage. She really becomes sort of another mother to Newt. And by the end of the movie, it's like implied that she'll probably take care of Newt as if it were her own daughter. And that they even sort of, like I said earlier, they have this sort of like family unit thing going with her, Hicks, and Newt. So the choice of motherhood is really there, front and center. And it's really, the story is kind of about her becoming a mother again. Whereas the main antagonist is also a queen alien, like laying eggs, so another mother. So it's right there front and center for us in the movie. It's like, even during the fight, I was calling it like the Battle of the Queens, the Battle of the Moms, basically. Like, get away from her, you bitch. Yeah, that was cool, dope line. And I don't think these things are coincidental. I think they're meant to be that way, because I think it's pretty clear right at the beginning. Again, we see a poster of a naked woman. Woman. So it's like, it's pretty clear sort of the messaging they're going for here. It's just what exactly is it and how they're saying it. That's sort of up to debate and up to interpretation. But there definitely is a point of view here that, in this case, James Cameron is sort of trying to portray and should tell us something. And I think James Cameron is very good at making these things part of the story. He's good at like, but sometimes they can be too explicit and it does kind of get corny and annoying sometimes. I'm talking about Avatar here, but most of the time, and generally speaking, yeah, he makes movies for the general audience, right? Like, he's a blockbuster guy, so I get it. I get it why he does things that way, more explicit and all that. I mean, you know, anything James Cameron, really, you can't really go wrong. I'm not sure he made a bad movie yet. I mean, we're still waiting on the next 3 Avatars, apparently. I don't know if that's even a real thing. Is it coming out or what? But that will be interesting, you know. But up until now, he's sort of, everything he's made has been great, and this is no exception. But I think both Alien and Aliens, they both have their pros and cons, and they're both amazing in their own ways. I do think they're 2 very different movies. They just happen to have the same main character in it. And they're sort of different as well, because she grows in the first one and then she grows again in the second one. So I am very, very interested to see how things turn out in Aliens 3. I don't know what happens. I heard it's not as good, but you guys are telling me it's good, and I'm definitely gonna give my own take on it. I'm gonna watch it and react to it sometime in the future. Maybe not immediately, but I will. So like and subscribe. And also, David Fincher, I think, made that one. So look, I'm a big David Fincher fan. Maybe not a huge fan, but I've seen a lot of his stuff. I didn't know he made Aliens 3 until like recently. And I know it's probably not his best movie, but there's gotta be a hint of genius in there somewhere. I do think even when good directors make movies that, you know, underperform or are underwhelming, I mean, it's because you're comparing it to their best stuff. So I think like these filmmakers, they're so good that there's got to be a hint of genius in even some of their worst stuff. So I'm excited to watch Aliens 3 as well. So yeah, I mean, look, I'm not, like I said, I don't usually do ratings and stuff like that, and I won't, but this movie, loved it. I mean, I'm not even qualified to even give my review or my thoughts on this movie, to be honest. It's just, you know, bona fide, a good, great film. But I loved it, and I loved Alien, and I love this movie, Aliens. If I ever had a movie collection, I will definitely have these in them. Anyway, what do you guys think? What do you guys think the message of the movie is? What did you think of the movie in general? Was it good? Did you like Aliens or Alien more? I can't really compare the two, to be honest. I don't really think they're sort of the same genre of movie. I think Alien is very original, and I can tell it's very original for its time, but it's more of a horror movie, as this one is. It has horror elements to it. They're both smart films, by the way. They're both very cerebral without being cerebral. I think this one is much more of an action movie. So I don't want to compare apples and oranges, but I would like to know what you guys think about it. What are the things I missed? I'm sure I missed a lot of things because I talked so much throughout the movie. I'm sure. Who was your favorite characters? Did you think all the characters deserved to die? What did you think of the ending? Anything that you want to sort of bring up and your opinion on the movie, go ahead and write it in the comments below. Also, I haven't seen Aliens 3, so it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see where they go from here. I wonder, like, what's gonna happen. Are they gonna pick it up again? Like this movie, they picked it up right after the events of the first Alien. It just happened 57 years later, but in Ripley's mind, right, who's the main character, it's really like, you know, nothing has happened to her since the events of the first film. So I wonder if something similar will happen in Aliens 3. I wonder if the other Newt and Bishop and Hicks, will they be in Aliens 3 as well? Is it another 7-year gap between movies? I have no idea of those things. It'll be interesting to know, and I'm definitely gonna do Aliens 3 reaction in the near future. So if you haven't already, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button if you like the video. It'll help the channel out a lot, and I appreciate it. And yeah, I look forward to seeing Aliens 3. I hope you guys are there as well. Yeah, I really would like to know what you guys thought of the movie and things that you think I got wrong, because, you know, it's just my interpretation and opinions, and I get things wrong all the time. So you guys let me know as well what you guys think. So what are some of your guys' other favorite movies by James Cameron? Or other sort of sci-fi horror films that you think are worth a watch, and maybe I'll react to them. And even if I don't, I'll probably watch them, you know, on my own time. I just can't react to everything. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video if you made it this far, and just remember, until the next one, Eazy does it.